What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks and Travis Mangone for a massive NBA slate. Only 2 teams have the night off. 28 teams are in action, and then we get tomorrow off, and then, of course, the Christmas festivities. Travis, how are you feeling about the National Basketball Association?
Yeah, excited to be here. Oh, I didn't know I thought I was muted. I got worried for a second. I was not muted. I've been, but I'm good. I'm excited to talk some basketball today. Ready to go. About posting the link in the chat for the people so they know to get in here. We got the NFL Print Factor will be on at 3 after us, but we got to get through these games. I know with me on the show, it's sometimes tough to get through games. We got Russell Westbrook slander to get to as always, but we'll get the job done. Should be a good time. And tons of basketball games and news to discuss.
All right, Tyler, big slate tonight. Let's dive right in. You know, we already did our formalities earlier.
Yeah, our introductions. Hey, how you doing? We're good.
Yeah, I know you're doing great, man. We're having a good time here. You know, NFL and NBA, life couldn't be better. Well, if dogs didn't bark, it'd be better. But still, San Antonio Spurs are plus 6.5 in Orlando, taking on the Magic.
Dogs.
Total of 228. Yeah. Here's an interesting underdog. The Magic have been on a roll ever since they got their point guards back. They've been winning. They're making a hunt for that play-in spot. And boy, what a difference having 4 healthy guards can make when you're looking at this Orlando team. The San Antonio Spurs were one of 4 teams in action last night. So they also have the travel, the rest spot. This number seems pretty good to me. When my projections had this pretty close to being the line. But just from a betting perspective, it just seems like it's Magic or pass. Tyler, can you think of any reason to take the Spurs?
No, there's no way I'm getting in on the Spurs. I mean, you do have a ton of guys coming off their injury report. Johnson, Podol's back. Wesley's going to play. But, I mean, Wendell Carter being back for the Magic just makes them an even better team now. So I'm going to be on the Magic here. I like the Banchero 22+ and win that we the people just dropped in the chat. Mm-hmm. I like that. And the only prop I'd play on the Spurs side would be like a Keldon Johnson PRA. You're getting that rate around 30. We tried to play it earlier in the year. The dude couldn't hit a shot to save his life. He found his shot in recent games. I think he can get up over that 30.5. So those are going to be my bets in that one.
All right. Travis, from a DFS perspective, how do we approach this game, and will you be betting this game?
Yeah, you have a good DFS game to kick it off, spread. So we'll definitely spend some time on this. And it's mainly because of the injury news, right? There's no Zion. No Zion Williamson is huge.
No, we're doing Spurs Magic.
Oh, I thought you said the Thunder because I heard travel. That's why I'm on the wrong game. Sorry. Spurs Magic. I probably won't talk about a lot. I'm trying to think. Okay. Spurs side of the ball. San Antonio is like, it's a 14-game slate or whatever this is, right? There's a million games. Do I really want to mess around with the Spurs on this slate? That's one of the keys to discuss. I don't think it's a good one too. Keldon Johnson, I believe is going to be into right spread. It seems like he's being projected right now.
Yeah.
I'm good. No Spurs for me. When it comes to the Magic side of the ball, I totally understand taking some chances on maybe some of these guys in tournaments, like a Banchero. 8-1 feels expensive, but the matchup against the Spurs, it's definitely a good one. But I just think there's too much of a guessing game going on right now with these guys that I don't need to. Markelle Fultz has upside at his price. Like, he has a ceiling. Like, if he got 50 DK points, you're not surprised at all. But for me, I'm not going to mess around with him. I want to check the FanDuel price. Just I know the FanDuel price is kind of enticing sometimes on him. It's been pretty good as of late. I know it's gone up. Let's see. It is 6.3. So it's a little pricier than normal. It was like at that 5.2 range, 4.9 at one point. Don't think it's worth gambling with. And this is probably a game we can just move past, spread. And if I bet on a team, it'd probably be the Magic. But what's the line on the Magic there, spread?
It's minus 6.5. That is pretty much right around where I projected this game. But because of the travel, maybe I didn't put enough into it. It seems like it's Magic or pass here. Spurs really didn't do much against the Pelicans last night. Fortunately, it went over for us. That was an RPB pick. Tyler, we should tout that we did go 2-0 on RPB picks yesterday.
We did. Our best bet we gave on the rundown, me and Kurt, the Trey Murphy 15+ points, Pelicans win. That one cashed also.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good night last night. So we're not going to force anything. I had this one pretty close. To me, it seems like Magic or pass. What do you think? 6.5.
I'm in agreement. Magic or pass if I had to pick, but I don't. A lot of games, right? You don't have to bet every single game.
Let's move right on then. This is a fun one. This game is good. The Los Angeles Clippers plus 3.5 in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. The total's only 215. Only 215 total in this game. Let me scroll on down, check this injury report. Pretty clean, man. Pretty clean, especially for two teams that like to litter up this report. I see John Wall is questionable. From a betting perspective, I don't even care about that. Tyrese Maxey, of course, is still out. Tyler, projections like the 76ers, but I didn't pull the trigger because these Clippers, when they're fully healthy, have been playing well. And when you're running projections like me, I mean, I guess I could just redo it for the Clippers and do ones with Kawhi and Paul George in and out, and I probably should do that. But I'm using the team as a whole. I'm using their statistics as a whole. So to me, I feel that in my projections, I'm undervaluing the Clippers. Feels like it's Clippers or pass, but do you think this is a tough matchup with Embiid getting loose down low against Zubac?
Yeah, before we break down the game, special shout out to our guy Flash in the chat.
What's up, Flash?
Love talking to him, but as
coming off the World Cup winner, he gave out the winners.
He gave out the winner. So, you know, he's cashing tickets over there in that soccer streets. But as for this game, as good as it's going to be a game to watch, I ain't going to have a single dollar in it spread.
Okay.
We can't bet Philly games. We have Travis on the show.
Oh yeah,
I can't have
forgot
him
about
just
that.
like smacking my hand away from the mouse when I go to click place bet. So we're just going to move on to the next game. I got nothing in that one really.
But Travis, we are enrolled in Clippers University. Can we break our rule tonight? What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, is my computer frozen?
Yeah, but we can hear you.
We can hear you. Your face is just frozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
My computer is being weird. The internet's being weird. Okay. We are enrolled in Clippers University, but I stay away from Sixers games. It's a rule. Playoffs, I'll make an exception. Not during the regular season. You know, the other day I heard all these people saying, "Oh man, I don't see how the Warriors keep it close against the Sixers." Right? This was like a week ago, and I was like, they'll find a way. Now, the Sixers covered, right? They did cover spread, but everyone who's worried about the blowout run, the guys still played. Jordan Poole and all, and they still played because they kept them in the game enough where they got that final rotation because that's just what the Sixers do. So I'm good from a betting perspective. We can talk about some of these plays DFS wise. James Harden and Joel Embiid. Let's start there because they're obviously two pretty good Sixers options that we got to start with. You can always use them as spend ups here on this slate. Embiid is not someone I'm dying to get to on this slate. There's obviously a lot of different spends. LeBron James, who's in a similar pricing range, he is only forward eligible, while Embiid is center, so it's two completely different positions. And Jokic against Portland, that sounds kind of enticing for only 700 more. So I'm not dying to get to Embiid right now. James Harden is only 9.9, but I just don't see against the Clippers it being that appealing, with it being the matchup against the Clippers. I mean, they are a good overall team, right? They're not this team that I'm trying to attack. So DFS-wise, I don't think I'm really getting into this game that much. You can make a case for Kawhi Leonard's price, but now it's 8K. It's not where it was, right? It was at like 7K at one point. It's gone up a bit. So overall, this seems like another game spread that we can just stay away from. Yes, there's appealing options that you can always make a case for in tournaments, and I'll probably never say Joel Embiid's a bad play, but on this slate, I just don't see myself getting there. I see myself playing some other options. So
are you going to go for more of a balanced build today? Is Embiid the worry that you just can't afford it?
No, it's not that I can't afford Embiid.
Would you just rather have different spend ups?
Different spend, like I think Jokic for 700 more might be worth it. LeBron too, like LeBron's going to be on like most of the teams today, right? I mean, the role that he's in is just stupid. So like, but I mean, that makes Joel Embiid like, and not just Joel Embiid, all these studs are going to be contrarian today. Like if you look at the top, I'm going to sort on my stuff that I got. I'm going to sort by the studs, right? The only studs that are gaining ownership tonight, that are truly gaining ownership, are Jokic and LeBron. The next stud that I could see gaining some ownership is, well, if Porzingis is out, and I believe Bradley Beal's in, right? Spread, he's not out too. Is that correct?
Let me check Beal.
I know it's a big report.
Beal should be in.
I'm pretty sure he's in. He played last night.
Well, if Porzingis is out, which I'm assuming he's going to be.
I didn't see Beal on the report.
Okay, cool. Well, I see Kyle Kuzma as like someone who's gaining ownership, which like he's playing the Kings. I think that's part of the reason, the matchup. But the guy who's really gaining more ownership next is CJ McCollum. Like there's no Zion. It's a CJ McCollum day, right? 8-3. So if you're playing CJ McCollum and you're playing LeBron James, you're instantly starting to run out of salary. You can make the case for Chris Paul with no Devin Booker, obviously pretty interesting at 8.3K. We'll get to some of these guys. These Knicks options, like they've been really good plays to play as of late, and they've kind of been a bit underpriced. Some of these Bulls have been a little underpriced as of late. So there is some kind of like tier 2 guys that we're looking at, like that 6 and 7K and even 8K range that are strong. And then at the top, it's Jokic or LeBron. And I think LeBron is clearly the guy tonight that most people are going to gravitate towards. And because we have Zion out, we do have some opportunities to play some of these Pelicans values that could be really intriguing. And like a Valanciunas, who's technically a mid-tier guy against the OKC Thunder, he's going to be someone that we just want to slam onto our teams, it seems like.
Tyler, I know you don't bet Philly games, but just humor me for a second here. From a betting perspective, I do like the matchup here. I think it's interesting, right? You got the Clippers that are basically just all these wings, right? They're just so forward heavy. And then the 76ers are the more traditional ball handler and big man. How do you think that matchup plays out, Tyler, even though I know you're not going to bet it?
I mean, I think Embiid has his way. But I think you look on the other side, I think Kawhi and Paul George just kind of just do whatever they want. Like, who's going to stop those guys? And they have the deeper roster. So, I mean, if I had to side with this, like, this is the only game, I'm probably taking the Clippers.
Yeah, I like the Clippers here. I know you guys hate betting on the 76ers, but I do like the Clippers in this game, even though my projections. We'll talk about that off the air, Tyler. What I should do with teams like the Clippers where the numbers are so obviously wrong because this team is so much different with the two studs in the lineup, and they missed so much time this year. The Milwaukee Bucks are +2.5 in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Another high-profile game for us, Travis. This game's a lot of fun. You know I love the Bucks. I went against them against the Pelicans. I'm still regretting that. This is a great team. But Brooklyn seemed to have their number, especially in that playoff series. They match up really well with Milwaukee. It's funny. I think Brooklyn matches up so well with Milwaukee and so terribly against Boston. How do you feel about taking the Nets at home at -2.5 here against Milwaukee?
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing all the tweets out for the shows. I'm all over.
Well, we appreciate that. You want to start with Tyler? Tyler, Bucks, Nets.
Start with Tyler. Sorry.
Give me the Bucks here, spread. I mean, I know the Nets have played good, and they do match up well. But coming off that giant win against the Warriors here, this is the spot where I think the Bucks come in. And as good as they match up with them, you look at it, it's like you put Drew Holiday on Kyrie, you put Giannis on KD when you have to. How do you guard Giannis on the other side? You going to put Ben Simmons on him? Good luck. Brook Lopez kind of bullies Claxton, and he can also shoot threes to where Claxton doesn't want to come outside. Give me the Bucks here. Give me Giannis double-double and win it +170. I think they kind of win this game pretty easily. I mean, Brooklyn is a good team this year. Look a lot better than we thought.
They're really good. You know, we talked about that on the went down on Wednesday, right? They've snuck into 4th place, and they've quietly been playing pretty well since all that drama early in the season.
Yeah, but it's like outside of this doubtful tag on Chris Middleton, there ain't another Milwaukee guy on this report. Give me the Bucks.
Middleton's kind of a big deal, though, right?
He is, but they've looked great without him this year. And, I mean, in this matchup, when it's basically a 2v2 and a bunch of role players, give me the Bucks too.
I agree. And the Bucks role players are much better as well.
All right, guys like Joe Harris roll off the bench and they're hitting threes. I don't think the Nets really have a guy to match that.
Tyler, it's never going to be hard to convince me to take the Bucks. My projections, another one, have this real close. Our guy Clyde's going to love that. A lot of my projections are coming straight to what these lines have. Travis, what are your thoughts here when the Nets take on the Bucks?
Yeah, I think you have great points with the Bucks, and I'm with Tyler. Like, I don't care about Middleton being doubtful. Like, sure.
Really?
I mean, as a whole, it sounds great, but what has he done? Has he been that good this year? Has he impressed you? He's been awful. Like,
he's just a long body to trouble Durant.
Yeah, a long body just hasn't done anything all year. He's been pointless. Like, he just again, I'm very much happy that he's not playing. Like, actually, when he does play, people do play him in DFS, and it doesn't work out for them. So that is one thing. I mean, there's one slate that I faded him that was very profitable for sure. And I get why people play him because, like, when you think about it, on an island, his price tag is insane, right? Like, you normally get him. What is it at? Let's see. I don't have it in my sheet.
He's usually in the 6 to 7K range.
Yeah, he was 6K at one point. And like at 6'3", my one friend was like, dude, he's like an absolute lock. And I was like, no, he's not. Small forward just sucks. And that's why everyone's playing him. And when he doesn't go out there and get the job done, it's good for us. Yeah, he's 6'5". And it's like, okay, at 6'5", what does he have to do to absolutely like crush? Like, I mean, sure, if he gets 30 or like 35, you're like, okay, that's fine. But like, what I'm getting at is I don't think he's been great this year. And I'm fine with him not playing. If people want to play him, go ahead. I'll do whatever you want. I don't think he's necessary. There's a lot of guys on this Bucks team that could make sense, but not on this slate for me as much. Like the upside of Bobby Portis at 6'1", it's certainly there. Giannis at 12-2, always could argue he's a good spend up, and he could obviously have a humongous game. If you want him as your raw points guy tonight, not going to argue with that at all. Drew Holiday's 8-2. That feels a little too expensive for me when there's other options that I would prefer. On the Brooklyn side of the ball, we got Kevin Durant, 10.7K. Obviously a pretty good option that we want to consider. I think with Kyrie back, though, it hurts him a little bit, where I think there's other studs I'd rather go to. So I can't really get to a lot of these guys here. Like, where's O'Neal at 4.7? Not on this slate. There's other better values. So overall, I think it's a game that we're just Giannis or bust, right? If you want him as a contrarian spend up while other people are just jamming LeBron, go for it. You just have to sacrifice in another spot for LeBron's salary. But this isn't a game that I'm dying to get to either spread. And I'm with you on the Bucks side. I don't think Middleton matters as much. Yes, Brooklyn's been playing a lot better, but this Bucks team is pretty good. And Giannis should be able to have his way down low against them. I'm not really worried at all about the Nets front court presence.
I love it. That's two short dogs that we like, two road dogs in what should be really exciting games. I like the Clippers. You guys are staying away from that one, but it feels like you guys have talked me into a play on the Bucks here. Tyler, do I take the 2.5 or should I just take the money line?
I'm on the money line. The other thing too I want to touch in, if this turns into a game where the refs are going to hold those whistles and just let them play physical, Milwaukee's going to walk through this game. Guys like Porter, like once Portis comes off the bench, who's the big that comes off the bench for Brooklyn? It's going to be Sharp. Like, they really don't have a guy that can match him down in the paint once he steps on the floor and they take Claxton off. I think they just kind of beat up on him in them second unit minutes. And even if the starters hang them in the game against Milwaukee starters, that's where they're going to lose the game is the bench minutes. So I think it's going to be pretty easy for Milwaukee here.
Yeah, right. You're making some great arguments. And Tyler, you really got to stay on top of me. Do you realize that we've probably been broadcasting for about 90 minutes straight, and I haven't asked the people to hit the thumbs up once?
It's unbelievable.
You can tell I'm not feeling 100%. We're trying to grind through the slate, guys. All we ask is you hit the thumbs up. And if you're not a member, head on over to runpuresports.com for the best in sports gambling and daily fantasy information. Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 10, taking on the Boston Celtics. How many of the Celtics lost in a row now? 3, 4 games in a row? How long can the Celtics be this bad for? It's weird you see a team on a 4-game losing streak laying 10, but that's where we are with this awesome machine. That is the Boston Celtics. I personally think the Timberwolves have played better since losing Karl Anthony Towns. It's more of a traditional team the way the NBA is played right now. This isn't 1988. We don't need a 7-foot center and a 6'10" power forward. It doesn't work that way anymore. We need one rim protector, 3 wings, and a ball handler. And now they have that style lineup here. Anthony Edwards has flourished without having to share that usage with Towns. And it feels like, he's kind of gravitated towards that natural leadership role. Tyler, my projections had this game about right, although I do have an edge to the over because it's dropped 2 points since I did them last night. So a slight lean to the over here. But just watching the NBA day in and day out, I like the Timberwolves plus 10. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I think if I'm betting this one, I'm taking the Timberwolves plus 10. That threes prop on Tatum is now minus 113 on the 3.5, so I'm not going to jump in on that. We got it at plus money last time.
Okay.
But, I mean, to be honest, with 14 games, this big of a spread, and Boston's kind of reeling, I'm staying away from this one.
Travis, Boston's your favorite team. How do you think we approach them coming off a loss? Do you think that 3 losses in a row, do you think they're eager to get back? Or is this the time that we should be fading them? What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I'm for one in shock that the Timberwolves are better without Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Oh man, they're spacing for Ant Edwards, their best player, to drive and actually do stuff. It's incredible what happens, right? If Gobert's in, right? Let's say Gobert's in. Give me the Celtics, with ease. I have no worries about it. If Gobert is out, I would worry a little bit more just because I think that spacing helps. The one thing though is Ant. I do think they have the guys that can slow Ant down enough. That's the key. I think Boston does have the built team to do that. So listen, I want Gobert in because if I got Gobert in, I want to wager on the Celtics. Now I cannot wager on the Celtics because I am in Florida. So I don't know a guy. I do know a guy. I guess I could send a message if I really wanted to, but not around lineup block when everything's moving around and crazy. But if Gobert got ruled in right now, I'd definitely be interested in the Celtics because I think Gobert is going to hurt them. Robert Williams is a better version of Gobert. Yes, I did say it's spread. So I think the Celtics can roll here. DFS wise, if Gobert's out, I mean, Naz Reid is going to obviously be a pretty interesting play that we should be considering. Let me see what the price has gone up to, though, because the price is ticking up. It's at 5-3, so it went back down because of the last game. So 5-3, pretty nice for Naz if we do get that news, just because of what he can do. He's such an elite producer. Obviously, Kyle Anderson, if he ended up being out too, that'd be huge for Naz if Gobert was out. You could make a case for McDaniels at 4-3, but not the easiest spot for someone like McDaniels, but he would pop up a little bit as a value. Ant is 9-2. A little bit of an expensive tag, but if you had Gobert out, Ant has the upside to get you 60. He does have that in his bag, so I think he'd be in play as a tournament option that you should want to consider that I don't think people would consider because they'd be worried, oh, Celtics is a tough spot. Could I really pull the trigger? Listen, Kyle Anderson out, Gobert's out. That would obviously make Ant really, really strong play here for me. So I don't think is there one more Q tag on this game? I think it's it's Robert Williams, but not worried about that as much. Marcus Smart should be back. So no interest in the Celtics for me. I don't think there's any price tags I'm dying to get to. Malcolm Brogdon, he ended up going up to 5-7 because Marcus Smart was out the other day. Derek White, he's only at 4-1, but he hasn't been as great. So yeah, this is a spot for the most part, seems like a stay away. Could Tatum pop off for a big game spread? Yeah, he could. Don't think it's the worst idea here on the slate, but I just think there's other studs I'd rather get to. Like maybe it's like some of these guys that are in that 9K range that we'll talk about. It's really hard to play Tatum over LeBron. Like LeBron is just in that stupid spot where it's really hard to fade. And the other day spread, I was down, right? I was in trouble on my teams, and I had to make a change. I was like, I have to get off LeBron and Thomas Bryant. Like, this sounds awful, but I'm dead. Like, I'm in trouble. And I ended up actually somehow beating LeBron and Thomas Bryant because I went to guys like Sabonis who have that stupid ceiling. And I went to like LaMelo Ball. Like, I think you have to find some of these guys. Like, if you're really going to mess around with trying to beat that LeBron ceiling, you need to have guys that can get it. And I think Tatum does have this ceiling to get like a 60 spot, but if I do get off of LeBron, it's likely not in the same exact range as him. It's probably for cheaper. Like, it'd be taking a chance on LaMelo Ball at 9-8 at a different position who has a ton of upside, or like a Damian Lillard at 10K. Some of these other guys, that's just my one worry with trying to do like a pivot of LeBron to Tatum. I just don't think it makes the most sense.
I don't think Tyler's going to remember this because he's too young. But Travis, do you remember the video game NBA Jam and it was 2-on-2?
Seriously.
I mean, that's a
Me
little.
and Travis are separated by like 4 years. You're like,
I
Tyler's
remember,
too young. You don't remember it.
I remember NBA Jam, but yeah, I think Tyler remembers it too. Tyler might remember it a little better, but maybe refresh what you're going to say. I'm curious.
I was just going to say your personal hell would be you play NBA Jam, but your only two players, your team has to be Rudy Gobert and Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That team would not be on fire. I'll tell you that right now. It would be a brutal group. I mean, you wouldn't really score. I mean, that's the one thing. I guess Gobert would like, because you can like goaltend in that game, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Gobert would just be a cheat code.
Yeah.
Smack everything right off the rim.
Yeah, he would be pretty good in that. But and then in Westbrook, yeah, you'd like take off from like the free throw line. Basically, it'd be hard to stop him. But it would be my.
Who do you hate more? Like, who would you less like on the Celtics, Gobert or Westbrook?
It's got to be Westbrook.
Yeah,
I think they can hide Gobert pretty well, and he knows that. He's like, they can use the other players around him.
You could hide Gobert enough. Westbrook would be brutal. I mean, like, he would also like take away from like these like. This is the problem with Westbrook, right? At least like Rudy Gobert is like sitting in the paint and like doesn't need to get the ball. Like, Russell Westbrook, it's like, okay, the ball is in his hands, and the only way he's good is if the ball's in his hands. So that's taking away from Tatum and Brown. Like, it's just bad. So yeah, that's why.
And a couple NBA Jam fans in the chat. Boom shakalaka.
To be fair, Spread, I used to love Russell Westbrook back in the day for fantasy, but at some point he falls off. Like, you know who's going to look like that? John Morant. We're going to be talking some trash about John Morant in like 8 to 10 years. Maybe not 8 to 10 years. That's a little egregious, but when that
that's
game
about right. That would be around 30.
Those knees aren't going to last more than 10 years. These guys that play like that, their knees give out pretty quick.
He will have a very steep drop off for sure. Like
maybe he'll FaceTime you from the locker room after that happens, Travis. Made some good points there on why maybe Minnesota's not the best play. We say it a lot, especially when you're on, Travis. Wait for the news before we make that play. The Toronto Raptors +4 in Cleveland taking on the Cavaliers. total 215. Tyler, I'm gonna spoil it. This is gonna be my play of the day. This is gonna be my play of the day. Cavaliers have been playing well. Raptors just a lot of stuff going around on that team. A lot of trade talks, and then I've also heard insiders talking about Scotty Barnes didn't work in the offseason, didn't make the leap and the adjustment that they had hoped. Siakam's been absolutely on fire. But the rest they've taken that it's a wings league too far, right? It's just all wings. They have like no center at all. And Van Fleet and Gary Trent are off to a slow start. It's been really tough for this team. Cleveland Cavaliers have been playing excellent basketball. This is my biggest edge. When I ran the projections, I like the Cavaliers. Tyler, am I missing anything?
No, I mean, just looking at this injury report, the only things that worry me is that Evan Mobley Q tag, if he's out, I mean, that just takes a big man away, and that's kind of where they dominate the games during the bait. But, like, you look at it, it's like, could Toronto match their guard play and put good defensive guards on them? I think so. Like, we just watched Siakam go for 52. Like, he just might have the hot hand here.
Yeah.
If Mobley's not there to chase him around the perimeter, Allen's not chasing him around the perimeter. So
Good
it
point.
just kind of matches up well. I'm probably going to stay away from it until I get that news on Mobley. If he's in, give me the Cavs. If he's out, I'll be on the Raptors again.
I don't care. I just think that the backcourt is just so much stronger. Garland and Mitchell have been playing excellent right now. I mean, if there wasn't so many people playing well, we would be talking more about how good Donovan Mitchell's been. Travis, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, not really a team DFS-wise I think we need to get to. On these slates spread, like it's always key. We need guys that are going to be out, right? Because like it's the NBA. Someone's going to be out on a 14-game slate. Kevin Love at 4-2, he has the ability to pop off for big upside, but do I want
especially if Mobley doesn't play? That's why it's like even if he doesn't play, like I'm not worried. I'm still taking the Cavaliers.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mobley's good for them. The Raptors have OG back, right? That is pretty good for them.
Yeah, he's good.
Spread, I don't know. I think if Mobley's out, I would lean the Raptors.
All I'm going to say is if we hit the rewind button to go back to, I believe it was Wednesday or Tuesday, I was told the same thing when I took the Raptors against the Knicks. We're like, we can't fade this Knicks team on a 7-game winning streak. And there went the Raptors. They can't do it right here.
It's the Knicks.
Is Mobley out or we don't know?
He's questionable with a right knee soreness.
What's the current line?
4.5.
4.5. The Cavs are favorites?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll take the Raptors 4.5. Yeah. I want Mobley out though. I want him out. That's the thing though. Like if he's in, I'm a little more nervous, but I don't know, Spread. I guess I'm a bigger Raptors guy than you, I guess, is the thing.
I used to be big on the Raptors just this year when watching the team. They just don't seem to have it like this.
Because they're hurt. They've been hurt all year. They were rolling when Siakam was good. And then he got hurt. And yeah, they've definitely just absolutely spun out. And they've been up and down, but they're back, right? Like they have the group back that they need. OG is so valuable. There's talks of OG and like, I mean, the people would be upset, but like, if you're a Laker fan, right, and you were like, we could trade Westbrook for OG, you would do it in a heartbeat. But some people would say, OG is not a superstar. OG is so much more valuable than someone like Russell Westbrook. So let's keep the slander going, and we the people.
Did you see someone saying that OG could get a Donovan Mitchell like Hall?
He's very good though, Spread. Like
that's the thing is like this might be a Harden deal, like where it's like, oh, why'd they send this much for this guy? And then the guy gets there and it's like, oh, this is why.
Yeah, like he's so valuable defensively. Do people forget, especially guys like we the people? Oh, they don't play defense. Well, then you want a defensive player. You want to have those guys. Like, I mean, OG helps. People forget that. You know what defense turns into? They turn into easy transition buckets where you don't have to play half-court basketball. And in the playoffs, half-court basketball is not as easy to get buckets on. So I'm big on OG. I'm big on Pascal Siakam. I mean, he looked phenomenal and played him DFS-wise for like the games. If you look at the game logs, the bad games I had him, and then the good ones, he absolutely is crushed, and it's been frustrating. But dude, he could easily be a good play. But if Mobley's in, that can slow him down enough where that would concern me DFS-wise from him having that ceiling type game. So I do think this Mobley news is very massive. If you look at Siakam's price too, I just struggle, I think, with Mobley in to get there. Trying to find it right now. He's 10.5. Now, if you put him at the center spot, it'd be interesting. And you are clearly taking a downgrade in projection. But he's not going to be owned at all. Fred VanVleet is 8-1, and with OG back, that hurts VanVleet enough where I don't need to spend the price tag on VanVleet. This feels like one of those basketball games, Spread, that it's better to either wager on or watch and just enjoy because it could be a fun competitive game. It just doesn't really fit the bill as a great game from a DFS perspective on this slate.
I still think it's a great opportunity. I think the Cavaliers are much better than the Raptors at this point of the season. And I agree with Flash. It's over or pass here. I do have an edge to the over as well. So,
well, if Mobley's outspread and you want to make a wager, I mean, slide on in.
Yeah, I know, because you don't have a guy. So this would be the only
Just
way.
remember, there ain't no beam in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean,
We're slandering the beam now.
I think Mobley is so much more valuable than you do, Spread. Like, he is so good defensively.
I agree.
You can't, we talk about the switches, right? When you got like those flat-footed dudes that you can just absolutely destroy, like you can't do that to Mobley. And like, you can do that too. Cement feet Kevin Love. I mean, that dude can't move anymore. Like, I mean, come on.
Cedi Osman ain't guarding any of those guys.
Yeah.
Mark Stevenson, if he plays, I mean, decent defender, but I don't really think he does much either. Like, they have the matchups in spots if Mobley's not in there.
You get Jared Allen out there on the perimeter. Listen, the guy can like get his hand up. He can defend the rim really well, but he's going to look like Porzingis when he's got LeBron in his face, right? He's going to be going like this. Come over here. Come on. I need help. Like, because Fred VanVleet's just going to own him with a 3-pointer right in his face.
What do you think about this prop? Flash wants to go under for VanVleet. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, under on VanVleet. I mean, everything hinges on Mobley for me, but
it's tough. Yeah, same thing. It hinges on Mobley for me.
Mobley's just so valuable.
And 18 for VanVleet, when all the dude seems to do is shoot threes. The dude gets hot, you are screwed because he's letting 12 of them fly.
Yeah, like
that's
Spread,
my biggest worry there.
Spread, if you're building a basketball team, right? And this is why we're going to go over today because I'm bringing up stuff like this.
No, it's fine. I already knew we would.
You're building a basketball team. Guys under the age of like 24, like Evan Mobley's got to be high on that list of your drafting, right? I mean,
no.
Yes.
No, it's Luka.
25,
no kidding,
26.
Spread. Yes, Luka's number one, but I'm saying Mobley is higher on that list than you think.
He's so offensively limited.
Spread. How many of the
how many
that
can
draft
do
class
defensively?
Just that draft class spread. Cade, Jalen, Mobley, Barnes, Suggs, everyone else. Where's he rank? I think it's 2.
Give me Mobley. Who's the best one?
Let's add in some of those other draft classes. I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of players under 23 that I like. He's got to really increase on the offensive end.
I think, to be honest, I honestly think in 5, maybe sooner than that, like 5 years, he is going to be the best big man in the league because he can do it all. He can guard the perimeter. He can shoot. He can move. Like the dude is the new age big that you want on your team.
I mean, like Spread. Do you want like Banchero or do you want Mobley?
Banchero.
I'm torn. I don't know.
That's a very, very close one.
It's close, but I'm not.
We the people's gonna love this. That I'm going against the defensive specialist here. Oh my god! I better go get my temperature checked. I might have to check myself in the hospital after this. What have you done to me, Travis?
I know. I'm on a list. I'm trying to like go through this list. Like so, like of 23, right? Of the 23, under 23, Mobley is ranked 7th. Okay.
Go through the list.
I'll go through top. I mean, there's 23 of them. It's a pretty big list, but I'm trying to scroll. Let's see. So Jalen Williams was 23, Onyeka Okongwu 22, Wiseman 21, Mathurin 20, Kevin Porter Jr. 19. I don't know what year this is from too. Zaire Williams is 18, Bones Highland 17, Banchero's at 16. Jabari Smith is at 15. I'd put
this has got to be pre-draft then.
Yeah,
it probably is. I mean, I'd put Banchero a bunch above a lot of these other guys. I mean, they have their uniforms on, so like Keegan Murray, like they were probably drafted. Like Keegan Murray there, Devin Vassal's at 13, RJ Barrett's at 12, Jalen Green at 11, Franz Wagner, he is at 10, Josh Giddey 9, Maxey Tyrese, he's at 8, Mobley's at 7. Then you got Scotty Barnes at 6. Honestly, I think I'd put Mobley above Barnes. I'm torn though.
That one's tough. That's really tough there.
Yeah, that's a close one. Cade Cunningham at 5. Man, I'd put Mobley above Cunningham.
I like Cunningham more.
Halliburton just makes the cut because he just turned 23. But I'd put Halliburton probably over him. LaMelo Ball at 3. LaMelo needs to stay healthy, but whatever.
And his defense is so bad.
Yeah, he doesn't stay healthy is the other problem. Zion at 2, which makes sense. And then number 1, the man, the myth, and Edwards.
Yeah. All right. So I guess there's not as many good players under 23 as I thought. We'll revisit this next week, Travis. Let me go. I was listening to Hollinger and Duncan talk about it, and they didn't have Mobley that high either. Maybe I took too much away from that. So, all right, but you're right. We do have a big slate. Let's move on. The Chicago Bulls plus 5.5 in New York, taking on the Knicks and RJ Barrett, who was on that list. RJ Barrett's been on fire as of late. The Knicks have been playing well. The Chicago Bulls, I know they beat the Hawks the other night, but that's the Hawks. I mean, that game was terrible. Those two teams are not good at all. The Bulls, of course, had the thing going on with Levine, not rotating defensively, problems in the locker room. DeRozan had to talk to him. They have had a couple wins since that, so maybe that got them on the right track. Still, so Tyler, this is another one. The projections are telling me to take the Bulls, but I just can't take the Bulls right now. Renewal of that great 90s NBA rivalry. Who do you like, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm not taking a side in this one. Give me the over here. I can see these teams just getting up and down the floor. I'm pretty sure both play on Christmas. I know the Knicks play on Christmas. Do the Bulls get that Christmas game also? Okay, no, the Bulls got left out of the Christmas slate. So the Knicks get their game early on that day. I just don't see much defense getting played in this game, to be honest with you. I think it just kind of go out there. They run up and down the floor. 224 seems a little low. We got an edge on that total. Give me the over.
All right, yeah, I have a bigger edge on the total. Travis, my projections tell me to take the Bulls, but I just can't do it. What do you think? Should I trust the numbers?
I mean, the Knicks, are they missing Quentin Grimes? Is he in or out? Is he still out?
Let me scroll.
I will say he definitely helped that defense pretty well. It was bad. It was real bad the other day. I mean, it was worse than I thought it would be. I didn't think it dropped that hard, but man, it dropped hard. Like it was, and part of it was quickly started, right? Like quickly start. I didn't love that. I thought DFS wise it was great, but I was like, you could definitely carve them up a little bit there. So, yeah. Overall, I think DFS wise, this is a game where we're gonna have to consider some options. We definitely can't ignore it. I mean, look at the Knicks pricing. Jalen Brunson is 7-1. Yes, it's not the most ideal matchup dealing with Ayo, but Ayo hasn't been that impressive. Brunson at 7-1, Barrett at 6-8. Those are guys that you have to consider. Julius Randle's 9-7, which that feels like an egregious tag. I will say Randle has been impressive. And yes, he can have those games that aren't as great, but 9-7, it's starting to get up there for me. But if someone played him, I wouldn't say it's the craziest thing as like a contrarian option because he has the ability to get 60 DK points. Also, it feels like the Knicks and Bulls have played like 30 times this year.
They played two times in the last 10 days. The Knicks won both games.
Yeah, that's why it's felt like they played a million games. The value's on the Bulls side of the ball, though, right? Like DFS wise, we have Ayo, who looks like he's going to have a pretty nice role tonight at 3.4K as a starter. You got Levine at 7.6, which isn't bad for him. DeMar DeRozan's at 8.4. I don't know if I want to use my salary that way. I think there's other studs I'd rather get in there. And then Vucevic at 7.4, who's not the worst guy at center, but I just don't know if that's how I want to use my salary. So it's really Ayo or Zach LaVine, I think, for me today. That's kind of where I'm at, and then just kind of moving on.
All right. Well, let's move on. Tyler, do you have anything more on this one?
No, that's it for me on that one.
All right. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons, who are +9 in Atlanta, taking on the Hawks. Another one where I don't love my projections here because my projections are telling me to take Atlanta. But my mind, just from watching these games lately, wants me to take Detroit. Of course, we do have to look at the injury report. But Tyler, I kind of want to throw the numbers out the window here and just take the Pistons. What do you think?
I'm with you. Give me the Pistons here plus the points. I mean, we talked about it about a month ago, spread that Trae Young might demand a trade, and now it's all coming out that he's probably going to do that here soon if they keep losing and they don't make noise in the playoffs, which with this roster, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he ends up doing it. Maybe not soon. Maybe it's the end of the year thing and maybe the offseason, but the Pistons team's been pretty scrappy. You're going to give me 10 with them. Give me the Pistons here. I think they keep it kind of close.
Travis is one of the cleanest injury reports. Only Clint Capella question, but what are your thoughts?
They have what's it called back? They have DeJounte Murray, correct?
Yeah, he'll play.
Yeah, that's so his price is 8.7 though. It's enticing. It feels like the wrong slate to take a chance on that. And they got Bogdanovich who's playing now, right? And that's going to soak up some usage away. They only play with one basketball. They don't play with 2 or 3, so that's going to hurt them. Obviously, if Capella sits, Okongwu is intriguing, but he is 5'4", but it's the Detroit Pistons matchup, which is great. So you could make a case for that. If we look at the Detroit Pistons, let me see. Bogdanovich at 6'3". I don't think I can get there. Jaden Ivey at 5'3" has upside, so that's not the worst thing. You also have, maybe DeJounte Murray. Is DeJounte Murray going to cover Hayes or Ivy? I could see it being Trey on Ivy. I don't know. I guess it could go either way. I don't really know which one it'll be, but I think Ivy has upside at the 5'3" tag. Like Ivy could drop 40 DK points, and it would not surprise me at all. And then Jalen Duren's been phenomenal. Now, do I want to pay the 5K price tag at the center position? That's the big debate that I have to make. But there's some interesting sides, I think, on the Detroit side. Then maybe a Okongwu if Capella sits. But keep in mind, spread, I think what's going to happen on this slate is it's almost 3 o'clock Eastern right now. Dude, 5:30 injury report's going to come out. There's going to be news we didn't even expect. That just this guy's sitting, this guy's sitting. I wouldn't be shocked. There's guys that play in the Christmas game that say, give me an extra day to sit for that Christmas game so I can be a full go or just be ready to rock.
Yeah, and it looks like you're going to get a big name back here soon that just went through shoot around.
Who's that?
Desmond Bain.
Oh, nice.
Good. I don't like dealing with Memphis, so that's phenomenal. I hate dealing with that team as a whole. There's Dylan Brooks, who's annoying. There's Jaren Jackson.
Who do we hate more, Dylan Brooks or Russell Westbrook? It's Dylan Brooks for me.
Yeah, it's Dylan Brooks. I think.
Russ for me. Jalen Duren over 10.5 rebounds. Tyler, I'm on.
I don't hate it. I'd rather just play the double at 2-1 because I think you can get there. My only worry though is if Capella's in, I'm staying completely away from that prop. Because when he's done it, it's been against smaller front courts. Capella's a guy that can just grab 17 rebounds, and nobody on this panel would plink.
Ever since he started getting more than like 25 minutes a game, he's had over 10 rebounds in 7 of the last 8 games. So. Yeah.
Another thing, Travis, how do you feel about our guy JC's favorite player being Pat Beverly and him hitting the 2 small back-to-back games down 35 in both?
Well, can you say that again? Sorry.
Our guy JC's favorite player is Pat Beverly.
Isn't that ridiculous?
And in 2 back-to-back games, down 35 points in each, my guy's hitting the 2 small.
He hit the 2 small on us on the Kings, down by 19.
The 2 small down 35 is egregious, like absolutely egregious. You can't do that.
Yeah, it was just absolutely terrible. All right, let's move on. Indiana Pacers plus 6.5 in Miami, taking on the Heat. Tyler, my numbers like the Pacers here. What do you think?
Yeah, as long as I see Halliburton questionable. I mean, ton of guys on the other side. That injury report's just been like that all year, so it's going to ignore that. Halliburton's in. Give me Indiana to win the game outright. I think they can beat this team. But if he's out, I'm probably just going to stay away. My favorite out of this game, though, it doesn't even have to do with handicapping it. They put out the injury report for Miami yesterday, and Udonis Haslem tag was father time.
No way.
Yeah.
That's nice. Travis, how are you approaching this game?
Sorry, spread. I'm ordering lunch. It's a disaster over here. What are you
ordering? We're talking about Pacers.
While he finishes up his order, did anyone look at Jimmy Butler's injury?
No, what was it?
A stomach gastrointestinal illness.
Yeah, he never plays. He always sits.
I don't know what that is, but I don't think he's gonna be able to run up and down the floor for 40 minutes with that.
Yeah, and spread, if you're wondering, so my family went out to get lunch, and I think I'm having a steak quesadilla, and then we are finally doing the family loves to do birthday celebrations, right? I don't care, but we're doing a little lobster roll tonight, spread. Lobster roll and some birthday cake. That'll be a good night to watch, and I'll watch some basketball. So
there you go.
And I'll be getting ready for NFL. It's going to be a good good next 48 hours or so.
You're gonna get the good mojo flowing, and we're gonna ship tomorrow.
You know how you get that good mojo is hit the thumbs up button. Do you have any thoughts on the Pacers and the Heat, Travis, or you want to just move on? Do we fade that game? Do you have value? What's going on here?
I pulled up the Miami injury report just to make sure I don't miss anything crazy on it. Caleb Martin is a lot of minutes, but with Jimmy back, it's going to kind of muddy some stuff up. What is Jimmy's price? Let's look at that. Just because Jimmy Jimmy is 9-4. That is egregious. I'm good. Not 9-4 is too much for me, but it's the Pacers matchup, so I shouldn't totally ignore that. Like one thing I called out earlier, right? Is like if you're gonna fade LeBron, it's probably for these like 9K or 8K guys that have like ginormous ceilings, right? And like Jimmy does have the ceiling of some of these other guys, so it's risky, but it's in play. Halliburton is questionable. If Halliburton missed, I mean, that would open up the floodgates for like the Pacers to be obviously really interesting plays. Neesmith is questionable as well. And if you did have Halliburton sit, it would be Nembhard at 4-2, right? We would just like load the boat on Nembhard. It'd be like, okay, Nembhard season, just play him and move on. So, yeah, I think overall this is definitely a game we need to watch the injury stuff on. If the injury stuff doesn't go our way, spread, that's okay. You know, we'll just have to X this game off and go to some other options.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's X this game off and keep moving. The Dallas Mavericks are now -7 taking on the Houston Rockets. But Tyler, they're on the road. That makes me want the Rockets. What do you think?
I'm with you. Give me the Rockets plus the points. They had a couple bad losses. I mean, we got to cash that ticket on the Magic the other night against them. And for the longest time in that game, it looked like Houston was just going to run away with it. And then fourth quarter, they couldn't close the game. The Magic were able to pull it away and win it. I mean, if you're going to bet this game and you like Dallas, I think the best way to bet it, because when Dallas wins games, Luka clears that number 30 every time. Take his prop to score 30 plus and pair it with the money line. That gets you plus 140. That's better than laying the 7 on the Dallas side. But me personally, I'm taking the plus 7 with Houston. I think they keep it kind of close. I think their guards combined can match Luka's game here. And I just don't see the other guys for Dallas doing very well in this spot. I think those guys are very hit or miss. Now they're on the road. Give me Houston.
Travis, the polar opposite of Evan Mobley is Alperen Şengün. All offense, no defense. But what beautiful offense it is. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, but he doesn't get minutes. That's the problem. Like
I know, man. He's in a terrible spot. You know, that's the problem with doing these full-on rebuilds is you get so many young players that actually stunts their development because you're trying to develop too many people at the same time.
I agree. I'm very big on that too. Like, first, like we were talking in the Run Pure Discord earlier about like the Magic and like what on earth are they going to do? Like, it's like they have a lot of pieces, but how do you honestly put that puzzle together? And like, you just can't develop these.
Same with the Thunder, right? When they have all those draft picks.
Yeah, you just can't. Like and eventually you have to flip the picks to do something with it. Now that's what everyone said about the Celtics, and it worked out, but it's tough.
But when you look at those two rosters, like the Thunder specifically, they have like the blueprint. Like, all right, they have their guards, they have the bigs that they drafted. They still have a shit ton of picks where they're trying to funnel guys in, but they have the blueprint. You look at Orlando, they just keep drafting bigs.
Oh yeah, it's.
But they have a ton of guards too. They have Fultz, Suggs.
All their guards suck though. Their guards are not good. Cole Anthony's too small, legit too small. He's too small.
And he don't play defense worth a shit.
Markelle Fultz always hurt, or just, I mean, he's been a project and it's not going to end up working out. Maybe making a 6-man type role and it's perfectly fine. And then Jalen Suggs could be like a solid 2 if you had like Damian Lillard next to him, right? Mm-hmm. Like that type of star guard, but they need to keep losing games so they can get a solid guard. No guard is going to be like, yeah, let me go to Orlando. That sounds like something I'm interested in. They just won't.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he had Nembhard next to him at Gonzaga. That might be one of the reasons he looks so good in college.
I know, huh?
Yeah, definitely could be the case.
All right, let's talk about the New Orleans Pelicans, who are +3. Pelicans are +3 against the Thunder. Tyler, what's going on?
I mean,
I don't know. I didn't get to talk about Houston and Dallas spread. Let me. At least,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I set you up with the Şengün joke, but
yeah, you did. And we didn't talk about. I mean, Kevin Porter's a dude they just need to trade. Like maybe someone takes him. Someone buys the bait. Like just get rid of him and develop.
When they trade him, Travis, when they fall 2 in the lottery, and they're like, well, it looks like Scoot Henderson's a Rocket because there's nobody else close enough to draft. See you, Kevin Porter.
That's what they should do. They should do it now, though. It would make more sense.
Who would want him?
That's the fair point. I don't know who wants him. That's a fair point. I'm definitely the guy that you're like, you know, those Lakers guys who are like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Zach LaVine and all these, like all this crap. Who on earth do you have to give up, and who wants your crap? Because I don't know who wants your garbage. I'm not sure.
I thought that was the start of a KPJ to the Lakers take, and I was like, that locker room would be hell.
Oh, that would be exactly.
No, LeBron will put him in line.
He'll just storm out of the locker room.
My just favorite thing is when people go like, oh, the Lakers, like they gotta make a deal to get someone to get them some help. And I'm like, okay, like let's hear it. Like I'll hang up and listen.
That's like you telling me I need to go buy a Bentley. Like the problem is I don't have Bentley money, right? I mean, you can tell me to go buy a new Lexus or something, but I can't go buy a Bentley right now.
Yeah,
I don't have anything to give the Bentley dealer.
Yeah, I mean, like what are you gonna do with the Bentley anyways? But we're comparing Kevin. We can't compare Kevin Porter Jr. to a Bentley. That's the only issue here. But
all right,
this is a game that I think Houston. You can make the case for like KJ Martin or Kenyon Martin, whatever you want to call him, Kenyon Martin Jr. At 3-7, he's going to have a little bit of a role that you can't ignore here. I mean, Eric Gordon's not going to be there, so he's going to start, I think. So he's a pretty interesting value that I think you need to consider. Tara Eason at 3-5, definitely another value that you can consider that's going to get enough run that could be in play. If we look at the Dallas side of the ball, Luka's always in play, but do you have the money to spend on 12-5 today? I don't have the money to spend 12-5 at the point guard position. I don't know about you, but I don't. Tim Hardaway Jr., Dinwiddie, Wood, do you want to take chances on them? This is a Christian Wood revenge game, and at 7-7, do I think he could have a 50-point fantasy game? I think he could. It's not the worst idea to consider on this slate at 7-7. So for me, it's that Rockets value plays that we talked about, and then it's maybe Christian Wood is like a upside ceiling play at 7-7 that could get you to that like 50-point fantasy game in a pretty good matchup against Alperen Sengun, who plays no defense.
All right, there you have it. There's the breakdown. Thank you, Travis. Now I can ask the question that I've been waiting since I plugged these numbers in. Tyler, why are the Thunder favored?
I mean,
these are our Pelicans. We picked them preseason. We're loving the Pelicans.
No Ingram, no Zion. CJ's questionable. Nance is questionable. It's going to be Trey Murphy-led team.
Are they just punting?
They could be. And that's what worries me even more is now that OKC's already a favorite, that tells me CJ's going to sit. That tells me Nance is out. And that possibly tells me another guy's hitting this injury report for the end of the day. So I'm probably just going to stay away from this game as a whole. If Trey Murphy plays, give me all his props. The dude's going to chuck the ball. I don't think there's a matchup on the other side for him. I think he clears about 25 points in that matchup without them guys on the floor. So that's my only play in that game. Maybe if these are the only guys on the floor, I'll join our guy, We the People, and be on the Pelicans. Like if CJ and Nance are the only other two guys out, I can see the possibility. Go.
Yeah, to be fair about your Trey Murphy take, Tyler, like when CJ McCollum cuts to the hoop and Trey Murphy's in the corner, like I shade over and help. When Jose Alvarado cuts, do I shade over and help?
Are we talking the normal Jose Alvarado, or are we talking that dude that showed up that one Sunday and scored like 40 points?
Grand Theft Alvarado.
I'm probably playing Alvarado tonight. You know, Grand Theft Alvarado should be on display against OKC. He is going to have – is he going to get Dort? I don't know. Who's getting Dort? That's the other thing to think about, I guess.
I think he's just kind of there at this point there because he's not tall enough to guard Murphy, and Murphy may be the best offensive weapon out there.
Yeah, I mean – Valanciunas should play, right? He's technically the best offensive weapon. And if it's not, I mean, he's likely in. If it's not him though, then Willie Hernangomez does actually he is a very good usage fantasy producer. Now he's not someone I want to play on my basketball team, but he would be interesting if Nance ends up being out between him and Valanciunas. If McCollum sat, you'd love Alvarado. Devontae Graham is $3K, not the craziest idea if you had CJ McCollum sit because someone else is going to have to come off that bench then and just chuck, and he'll likely chuck a ton. But yeah, Murphy's a good price. Najee Marshall 4-4 could start. I think I'd prefer Murphy though, like you said. Herb Jones at 4-7, they're going to obviously need him. And the only thing I worry about Herb is he can't really create his own shot. I think he benefits a lot from CJ being able to get him that spacing and then cutting. So definitely think it's Alvarado is one of the best plays if CJ sits, and then it's Valanciunas at the center, and then it's Murphy. Those are kind of the core three I think you'd key in on.
All right. Anything more on the Pelicans Thunder?
That's it for me.
We could talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see what his price is. He is 10-1. I mean, he has a lot of upside in this spot. So
yeah,
wouldn't ignore him, but they do have guys back, right? Giddey's back. Dort is back. Jalen Williams at 4-5. We know he can steal up some usage. So you're not dying to get to someone like SGA today. But
he's feel about our guy, We the People's take in the chat. Don't sleep on Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on him. I'd want him starting, I think, in order to actually pull that trigger on him. But This hinges on a lot of news. I could see Dyson Daniels not being an awful option here in this spot.
Let's talk about the Portland Trailblazers, who are +4 in Denver, taking on the Nuggets. Tyler, speaking of games running back, right, like the Bulls and Knicks, I swear I took the Blazers like +4 in Denver like within the last week, and it went absolutely terribly for me. It wasn't even a close game. Is there any reason to think it'd be any different tonight?
I'm taking the Blazers.
Why?
I just don't like Denver.
They're in first place.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. The Western Conference is separated by the size of my pinky, so like every team from 1 to 12 can get to that one spot at any point.
Yeah, I mean the Kings are live to be in the 1 seed in a couple of like days, Brett. It's crazy as it sounds.
Hey, when you have a beam, anything's possible.
It's like Murray's questionable. I don't think he plays. Porter says he's playing in this game. He came out and said it 2 days ago. Which, you know what that tells me? Buddy's going out there for 10 minutes, and he's back on the injury report.
Oh, come on.
So I don't trust Jeff Green. I don't trust these other role players. You get Nurkic, Dame, Josh Hart, all in here probable. Give me the Blazers to win this one outright. I think the guards light them up.
Yeah, I thought that too. We'll see how that works out for you. What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, is Murray out for this game?
He's questionable with a left knee injury management.
So I think he's sitting. The reason why is they're a Christmas team, right? Now this take could backfire on me, but I think that when you are playing on Christmas Day, you need to be ready for Christmas Day, right? These guys want to play on it. I mean, they love playing on this season. So Murray did. I know that other game he ended up sitting, and he basically said he wanted to play, and the medical staff said you're not playing, but he still played, and they didn't like that. There is a slight chance he plays in this game, but I am more worried about it. I just think it makes a little bit more sense. And don't they play the Blazers on Christmas Day? Isn't that correct, Tyler?
I'm pretty sure. Let me pull up that schedule real quick.
That's interesting that it's like it's going to be like those games back to back in a row.
No, Phoenix plays Denver on Christmas.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I think Murray sits, though. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I end up being wrong. If Murray sits, obviously great spot for Jokic. Would help out Bones Highland, but he probably doesn't start. And you know who that's going to benefit? Going to benefit Aaron Gordon, who's been playing phenomenal. I think he could be a really interesting option tomorrow, or not tomorrow, today. We'd also have Bruce Brown, who I think would probably be the better option of the two. I want to look at pricing. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Where is it? Denver. You'd have Aaron Gordon at 6'8". Bruce Brown is 5'8". Yeah, so I much prefer him. I doubt Bones would start. That's just the only downside to it. So that would be obviously big to see. So I think Bruce Brown, though, would be a pretty interesting option. Jokic is a really good spend. Portland side, I talked about there's some spend ups that we can consider. I think we have to consider Dame. I think the upside that he has and at that price to be able to kind of get above guys like LeBron James, this is a spot where this game could be competitive enough. Nuggets don't play a lot of defense. I think it's a pretty good spot for Dame at 10K, even if Nurkic plays, because we know what his upside is, and he'll just go out there and chuck the ball up. So don't mind Dame as like a contrarian spend up option.
Travis, talk to me about the team with the beam. The Sacramento Kings are -9 taking on the Washington Wizards tonight. We're going to be able to light that beam tonight, right, Travis? We're not going to lose to the Wizards, right? This isn't going to be a replay of Monday night where we play a terrible Southeast Division Conference and then they end up victory lapping me all on the show the next day. What do you think? Can we beat the Wiz?
What's the spread on this? What's the spread on
this? -9.
It's a lot to give. Jeez.
Yeah, and we were laying 10 to the Hornets, and we couldn't get that done.
I was hoping
then they turn around and lose to the Clippers by 30.
Yeah, I was hoping that line was a little better, but I assume that the Kings get the job done here. I mean, but I don't know if they cover. That's the problem. Sabonis at 10.6, I think is going to be a really good option that we need to be obviously going to. He's 10.6K. The upside that he has is just enormous, right? If he stays out of foul trouble, he will crush in this matchup. That is the key. Will he stay out of foul trouble? That is the thing that you have to figure out. De'Aaron Fox, 8.8. I just don't think I need to get there with him. I think Harrison Barnes is a fine last piece in kind of guy, but not dying to get there with him. So DFS-wise, I'm not really trying to get to many of these options unless it's a bonus from a contrarian point of view. The Wizards side, I don't mind Kyle Kuzma at 8.6 because I know what his upside can be. Not dying to get the Bradley Beal. I'd prefer Kuzma if I had to pick. The only reason Beal, I guess, maybe would come into conversation is if shooting guard is a little rough, but I think we'll be fine with the shooting guard position. And then if Porzingis did sit this game, Gafford would pop up at 4.8 as a pretty intriguing option and a value play. So that's something we have to watch for. We might not have that news in time, right? That's one of the big factors that we have to wait on. So I don't know. I think the beam's going to be lit tonight, but I don't know if, at -9, I don't know if it's going to be lit then, right? That's the one thing I worry about.
Well, we light it just with the win. What do you think, Tyler, though? Should I bet this team? Are we going to cover tonight against this Wizards team?
I don't know if they're going to cover, but they're going to win. I will say that. They're going to pick up the win. The Wizards are coming off that. I believe they're coming off the win against Phoenix, or they've grabbed it in the last few games.
They beat Phoenix 2 days ago. Then they went to Utah last night.
Okay,
gave out the Jazz -7 in the playbook. Wizards actually kept that game close. They were up by, I think, 6 or 8 at the beginning of the third quarter, and you could just see them just kind of get tired there in the altitude of Utah, and the Jazz pulled away, and they get the cover. It was I would say an easy cover, but it did come down to the last minute.
Yeah, so they were in Utah.
Did you see Colin Sexton? Did you see Colin Sexton hit the too small on Bradley Beal last night?
It's too small. It's so stupid.
No, it's not.
Like, unless you're Joel Embiid, why are you doing that?
What do you mean? You make a bucket over him, you're too small. Spread. If I shoot a basket over you and it goes in, you're too small.
I'm taller than you, though.
You're too small to cover me, though. That's the point. I don't care what your size is. You're too small.
I still like the Rocket baby better. Nothing's better than watching somebody get torn apart, get into the hoop, and they're just running down, cradling the baby on the way down.
I hate all those stupid things.
That's the best one to me.
I'm like, we're doing 2K emojis in real games now. Unbelievable.
I like the too small one a lot, for sure. It's hard for me to not like it's like, hey, listen, like if I'm backing you down, right, and I drop a nice hook shot on you, like I don't care if you're taller than me, Spread. You're too small to cover me. It's just
when we play, let's see if you can hit that on me.
I can hit that on you, Spread. If you want to hit the slab in March, I'm down.
I'm gonna be training for it. I'm gonna be training for it. I gotta drop some.
We're doing the 2v2 tournament, Travis. We're picking teams. We're running the 2v2 tournament.
I'm in on the 2v2 tournament idea. I love playing twos. So
who's getting my partner?
Better for me than one.
We haven't picked teams yet, Spread. So that'll probably be something we do when we get there.
All right.
I want to be last pick. I want to be with Big T. That'd be great. That'd be.
All right. Memphis Grizzlies -2.5 against the Phoenix Suns. Tyler, I like the Grizzlies here. Phoenix, Booker's still out. I mean, now you're missing 3 of your wings. You got no Crowder from last year's team. No Crowder, no Cam Johnson, no Booker. I don't understand how this team's going to compete with the Grizzlies team that just keeps getting stronger as the season goes on.
I'm with you. Give me the Grizzlies here -2.5. I think it's pretty easy. Just like you said, no Devin Booker. How do they score? Their starters can all put up double digits here, and they could still lose this game by 15. They don't have a go-to guy right now. Ayton's not going to be able to do what he wants against Adams and these other bigs. CP3 against Jaw, good luck. Give me Memphis here. I think they smash them.
All right, we like Memphis. What do you think, Travis?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Dylan Brooks might chuck out some really bad shots, and Mikal Bridges will just be in his face. So he'd probably be on Jaw actually more. But what's it called? I do agree with what you're saying. I mean, Ayton's not going to be able to have his way. He's going up against Adams. Like, just good luck with that. That's going to be very, very difficult for him. So I do think that helps Chris Paul, though, right? Just going to help. Like, he's going to chuck. Like, Chris Paul is going to go out there and absolutely chuck tonight. So I think DFS-wise, you got to consider Chris Paul. He's a candidate at 8.3K. He could drop 50 tonight. So I like CP3. Definitely someone that's going to be in the DFS player pool for me. And I think that's mainly it. Like, obviously, Memphis, they gotten healthy. Don't want to mess around with them too much. You can make a case for Mikal Bridges, but I don't know, man. At 6'4", there's just other guys, other ways I'd rather spend my salary. So I think it's Chris Paul or bust for me in this game.
All right. Final game of the night. We made it. Charlotte Hornets are +3 in Los Angeles, taking on the Lakers. Tyler, AD's not going to play. Are you surprised?
Yeah, he won't play for a while, Spread, because they just rolled him out indefinitely with a stress fracture or something in his foot. So don't be surprised if you don't see him the rest of the year now. So
yeah, let's throw him that. That's all, folks. Now, AD could have happened to our nicer, more humble guy.
Yeah, I mean, but he was like he was about.
You want to crap on the New Orleans Pelicans fans? Go to LA and be a complete bum.
I mean, that
he
ring
got his
says
one
different.
title at least. Well, at least give him that, Spread. He got his title.
Yeah, he got a title because they allowed him to rest for 4 months. He's going to need to go to China and have another pandemic to ever be good again.
We were all penciling them in as the COVID started to happen as the team that was about to push to the front. They were about to start roaring through that season before the bubble happened. and they still were able to get it done.
And they actually had role players in. They had KCP, they had Alex Caruso, right? I mean,
I do have a question for you guys. Do you guys consider, like, I've heard people say like it's the Mickey Mouse title, like it doesn't matter. Are you guys in that camp or out of that camp?
It's still a title, but
I'm on a little bit of the other side because I think it's a little harder because you could lock college and high school kids when they go to these tournaments and hotels and stuff for a week. And they're like, all right, all we're playing is basketball. Go lock the $1 million guy in the bubble and tell him he can't leave. He can't call a chick down the road to show up. He can't go to the club. A lot of them guys were probably like, we want to get the hell out of here. We'd rather just go home. We're worried about a title another year. So I think it was a little more like they had to drive it down and just lock in on basketball and win it. And I think that's why you see Miami push through too, because Miami's roster that year was basically the AAU roster. Jimmy Butler's leading the way.
I get what you're saying. I genuinely enjoyed the bubble a lot. I thought
it was awesome. It was awesome.
I thought it was
but I'm just saying
it's really hard to like force guys to do that though. But I would love like a bubble tournament every year for like 2-3 weeks. I think it'd be sick.
I think it makes betting on the game so much easier too, because they're shooting on the same rims. You watch one guy get hot at the end of a game, and you're like, I know tomorrow he's coming back. He's hitting shots on that hoop again.
Yeah. I very much enjoyed it, but I know I saw some. I just curious your takes. I've heard a lot of different people say, "Oh, it's a fake title and stuff," and I don't know. We did the best.
It's still a real title, but you just have to note that it favors a 35-year-old and an often injured power forward to be able to get all that time off. But it's still a real title because, they still had to go out there and win the games.
The rings still shine the same.
Yeah.
The banner still hangs the same.
Yeah, the parade. Wait, my bad.
I am with We the People, like bubble. I would like fans too, right? But it's like,
can you imagine if they had a bubble in Las Vegas and they're all showing up like hungover off blowing Molly and shit?
But imagine if they had like a bubble, right? And like it's like people can come and go, right? Like
it'd be sweet. Just a huge Las Vegas tournament, and just
they should do it similar to the summer league. I know like you don't want to put an NBA team in a small arena, but how much funner would that be if you got all these top players running around and them stands are packed to the gills? And they're just hovering over the court too, basically, while these guys are going at it.
Yeah, like you got LeBron at the game, like waving a towel while Donnie Mitchell and like Jamal are like dueling back and forth. Like it'd just be super fun. Like I if you could have like a tournament, like I said, like a 2 to 3 week tournament with fans, and it's like an event.
Well, you're having that next year, Travis.
They are.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do in the middle of the season.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think they should do something for like draft compensation. Like, but then I think about it, it's like, the best team probably ends up with the first pick overall every time. Like if you just took all the teams that make the playoffs at here, the winner of this tournament gets like top lottery spot. Whoever just missed the playoffs is just going to house all those teams.
Yeah, I just don't think it's that hard to do for like a scenario of like the teams that like are like on the outside looking in for the playoffs. Like it's like a 2-3 week tournament. Like I don't know. I think it'd be dope. Like I'm in on it. It'd be cool for me.
All right. Do you want to break down this game, or do we just want to do some best bets?
I mean,
which game are we on?
Lakers are past for me.
And the Hornets.
Lakers and Hornets. We have to. I mean, it's a very valuable game. So,
all right, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Travis.
All right, I'll dive in. DFS wise, this matters because the Charlotte Hornets, right? We always play big men against them because it's an easy spot. Well, Thomas Bryant is 6'1", but still grading out as a pretty good play. You can't ignore him here in this spot. LeBron James going to be one of the better spend ups. Now, Russell Westbrook, is he somehow still questionable or is he going to play? He's probable. Okay, so he's good. Austin Reeves coming back would affect this situation a little bit too with some of these other guard options that you could go to. But I do think Russell Westbrook at 7'6" is not a bad play. The upside that he has at the price and the matchup with Charlotte where there's no rim protection, Russ Westbrook could have a pretty big game here. So despite all the slander I give him, I don't hate him DFS-wise. So it's really I think the best plays are LeBron and Bryant, and then Westbrook's probably on that tier 2. On the Charlotte side of the ball, the only issue I struggle with is LaMelo Ball's price tag has gone up to 9.8. LaMelo Ball is going to be a fun spot here. On FanDuel, he's only 8.9, but LaMelo has insane upside, right? Like of guys that can get you like 60 DK points. Like that's why I made the swap the other day. I was like, this dude could get me 60 plus and like save my night. And he did. And yeah, there's definitely a little bias there right now, but I do want to call it at 9.8. He has probably more upside than James Harden tonight. LA is a great and easy matchup. Terry Rozier was out. I assume Rozier is still questionable, and he is. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable too. I mean, if both those guys come back, that could muddy it up a little bit. But this is a spot where if those guys are out, it's going to be really good for LaMelo Ball. So like his upside, still even add that crazy price tag. Gordon Hayward at 6'1" in the conversation is an okay forward option. And that's kind of it. And we're going to have news that hits in the next couple hours. I think that's going to change the slates a ton. The big key point, though, of this slate is how do you handle the Pelicans? I'll be breaking that down in all my content and everything. So, and be sure to check out we'll have the Hardwood show, we'll have the Up to Lock show. I was told the Up to Lock show today, Holden is going to be lit the whole time. I think he's hoping Big T is on gummies. I hope Big T reserves them for towards the end. That way he gets his lineups up in time and everything's ready. But it should be a fun show today. Should be a good time over here at Run Pure Sports.
All right, let's do the best bets, Tyler. What's your best bet for the day? Side, total, or prop?
I'm on Bucks. Give me a money line and give me the Giannis double and win it plus 170.
Travis, what's your best bet for the day?
Oh man, best bet for the day. Let's go with Raptors. Yeah, Mobley. If Mobley ends up being in, whatever. But let's stick with the Raptors plus 4.5 spread. We'll take them, and I also like the Celtics too. Those will be two I like. Maybe you could do a little parlay action of those two teams money line. I wouldn't hate that one as a bet today. Celtics and another one that's good too would be Celtics and Grizzlies. Tyler, I think that'd be a really solid one to pair up together.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, give me the Pacers plus 6.5 against the Miami Heat. I like the way that Indiana's been playing as of late, and not really much to the handicap. My numbers liked it. I liked it when we talked about it. I think the Pacers are going to be a great play tonight. So, Travis, do you have some holiday words before we get out of here?
No, nothing crazy. We got all the shows, all the normal Sunday NFL shows will be tomorrow, so be sure to check those out. I believe me and JSU will be doing a Sunday Christmas edition of football and NBA combined, so be sure to check that out.
Oh, cool. I like that.
It should be pretty early. It should be, I think it's going to be 8 a.m. Eastern. So you can rewatch it if you like. You don't have to be there hanging out at the time of the show, but we're going to try and get that up for you guys kind of early. That way the people can, hang out, check that out. I don't think I have too much else. We'll have tons of content up. I mean, the next couple days are going to be a grind for me. We'll be grinding, trying to bring you guys those winners and trying to get to the top of leaderboards with you guys.
Well, we did it. We made it through the slate. Great job, Travis. Great job, Tyler. Tyler, you want to give him some words of wisdom before we get out of here?
I'll wrap it up for him since I still got the holiday hat on. I mean, everybody have a good Christmas. We're going to run pure this weekend. What is this going to be, the 5th Millie Maker in a month, Travis? We've gotten 3 down. And then Hoop got, or 4 this 50th year. Hoop got his 4th. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to run pure this weekend. We're going to win these best bets tonight. We're cashing all the tickets as we open Christmas presents on Sunday spread.
All right, and the only present we ask for you right now is to hit that thumbs up button and run pure.